Council of the Borough of Frio for May 6, 2024 is now called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 231 of the laws of 1975, the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the time, date, and location of this meeting has been provided by posting a copy of public meeting dates on the municipal bulletin board and by sending a copy to the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger, and filing a copy with the municipal clerk. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for a salute to the flag, followed by a moment of silence as we remember two lifelong Frio Borough residents, Norman Miles, 50-year member in the fire department and in the first aid, and Joe Likes, who was an educator at the high school and track and field coach, who just both passed away this past week. Lieutenant Collier, would you please lead us? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kane.
Here.
Councilman Benedetto.
Here.
Councilman Freeman.
Here.
Councilwoman Jordan. Here. Councilman Reich.
Yes, here.
Councilwoman Rogers. Here. Councilwoman Shasta. Here.
Okay, item 4 this evening, we have some workshop agenda items. I'm going to ask our administrator, Steve Gallo, if he would just run through these with us, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and council members on the dais, as well as citizens here at the chamber or watching at home. We have a few items that are worthy of discussion before any decisions are made. The first one involves our yard sale ordinance. Presently, we have an ordinance that permits people to have yard sales twice a year, and we're finding that some of these sales are actually turning into stores. They're selling new items that they might have gotten from somewhere in large quantities, and they also have tremendous volume of signs that they put up all over town on the telephone poles and the grass. So the thinking was that we'd like to regulate this to go back to what a yard sale is supposed to be, for an opportunity to sell surplus goods from your household, and also to discourage the placement of signs on telephone poles in other neighborhoods in the community, and then they don't come and ever take them down. Jeff has to go and take them down.
Yeah.
I agree.
Could I talk a little bit about this?
Sure.
So, the ordinance now, I mean, I pulled up the ordinance and I got the application and the instructions, and the ordinance, you know, talks about sale of tangible personal property, and then it talks about that it's used items by owners. So I feel like it might already, we maybe need to maybe make it more clear, but I think, you know, right now it says used items. So I don't know why, you know, I feel like this should be something, you know, but I agree, we need to tighten it up so it's really clarified. And I almost, you know, if they're gonna be selling new stuff, you know, there's peddler licenses, and maybe there's other things people need, you know, be required to get if they're gonna do a yard sale on a regular basis. It says in the ordinance, you know, you're only allowed twice per year, and it's per premise, not per person. So it's not like we can have, you know, brother do it one day, sister do it next week, mother do it the next, you know, it says in the ordinance premise. So I feel like we need to tighten it up maybe, but also maybe some way to communicate which lawn sales are happening each week out to the police, so when they're driving around, they can actually, you know, enforce when necessary yard sales or stores as they are becoming. I mean, this is just last week of what I took down, and it just multiplies throughout the summer. There's like 30 here, and you know, it's a garage sale one day, and then someone puts, you know, mowing the next day, and cell phone repair the next day, and then English class the next day, and before you know it, each pole is a Christmas tree of signs, and which, you know, from my standpoint, really detracts from the community. So
I think it's a good idea.
You know, it was made to get rid of your things in your house that you don't use anymore, not for a source of income. Not only does it make more work for our workers to go around and take these off, it's illegal to put them on telephone poles. And also, what about the merchants who do get their insurance, who do pay rent, who do, I mean, you're just taking away from the people that do the right thing. It's not a good thing, so I agree 100%.
The fee will remain the same, correct?
Yes,
The fee for the permit?
yes.
So there's one around my name, they've had at least 5 or 6 of them this year. So who tracks that? If I'm gonna come in, I say, well, I've already had 3 of them, and I'm gonna come in for a permit again, like, who's gonna say, no, you can't?
This is on Monmouth Avenue.
It's around my name.
Tracy issues the permits.
So is that gonna happen, Tracy? You say like,
Oh, there is a question on the application. Have you had any sales or gotten a license within the last 12 months? If so, list the dates. But we keep track, if they're at 2, we keep track of that.
okay.
Yeah, we have it written down.
And you know, and when people come in under different names at the same
And the
address,
same ad, yes.
because they, I mean, some of them sometimes have permits, and it's, even if, I guess the question is, if somebody does have a permit, but they're selling them new merchandise, there's no way the clerks are gonna.
Oh, no.
There's no way the clerks are gonna know this when someone comes in, so they're gonna issue the license, it's up to whoever is enforcing to say, all right, this isn't really a yard sale, right? Either code or the police, whoever goes out, right? That's how that would work?
That is correct, yes.
So
And I
I-
believe, go ahead, Margaret, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that I believe that the ordinance is written so that it can be enforced by either party.
Yes, that is what it says.
Yeah.
So I just have 2 concerns. I'm not sure that I would want the police going around and giving out summonses to someone for having a yard sale. I'm sorry. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not in favor of that. As far as used versus new items, I have things in my house that I've never used that I would want to sell at a garage sale. So we have to be very careful about the language
Sure.
that we use when we
Bulk,
put
how
this
about bulk,
ordinance in
how about
place.
bulk new items, because that's really
Yeah,
what it is.
that's-
Yes, if you've got a
that would
gift
be
from your Aunt
different.
Susie
Yeah.
who you don't want and you want to, I get that.
Yeah,
But if you got 62 camping tents,
yeah, then that's.
Oh, the same
different.
exact
Yeah,
tenants.
no, I understand that we have illegal restaurants, we have illegal stores, we have that stuff going on, and I'm not oblivious to that. But we do have law-abiding citizens as well. I don't want them to be afraid to have a yard sale that the police are gonna come and ask them for, identification or whatever. I just don't think it's necessary to police it that much, pun intended, I guess. But,
who should enforce it?
and then also too, are we gonna go around every weekend and check and make sure every yard sale has a permit? I mean, how is
Well,
that going to be?
We could word the ordinance so that the permit has to be prominently displayed so that you could see it while you were driving by.
And everybody in town knows that, and they even know that they have to,
But when they get a permit, you could say it on the permit.
but everyone knows that they need a permit.
But ignorance of the law is no excuse.
And we're really talking about, you drive by a house once and they have a garage sale, no problem. Twice, really no problem. The 10th time over the course of the summer, when you see that there's cases of diapers and toilet paper out, brand new stuff, then somebody's gonna do something. People deserve, they certainly are within their rights to have a garage sale, but the people in the neighborhood who live next door are in their rights to enjoy their property too, because I don't know if, yard sales, people like to arrive early for some reason.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true.
And I also have to spend literally 2 hours, 2.5 hours each weekend going around taking these things down. It's not the streets and roads. I'm not gonna waste their time and valuable, they get paid a lot per hour. So it's easier for me to drive around on a Monday morning at 7 in the morning and do it than send streets and roads out. So I'm trying to limit some of this stuff that people complain about. I agree. I don't want the police going around giving tickets to everybody. But I think times where it's really blatant, I think that some action needs, we can send code out to do it, but that means code's gotta
people to shy away from having a yard sale because they're afraid that, you know, they're gonna get a summons or whatever if it's not set up just so. I understand, you know, new items in bulk is a different thing, but I just wanna make sure our residents are, you know, those who are doing what they're supposed to do are protected and don't have to, you know, be afraid when they have a yard sale.
Absolutely, yeah, no, we agree with you.
Is there verbiage in the ordinance that says where you can and can't sign?
It does, it says that it's all very clear in the ordinance and then in the rules that are handed out. And the rules that go with the application correspond precisely with the ordinance. The only difference is at one point the ordinance numbers were changed. So it's now 5.40, where when this was written it was 6.11. So, but it's all the same language. It talks about signs, all persons are prohibited from putting signs, erecting signs, other than allowed with this chapter. No sign more than 5 days. No sign on public utility poles, trees located off the premises. So basically, the only place you could put a sign is on your property 12 hours prior, and it's got to be down within 5 days after.
Well, we could certainly post that on our Facebook, and we could include it in the next round of water bills,
And all that's in the
as a reminder.
in the instructions that the clerks give out. I mean, the instructions the clerks give out is very, very clear. And it just somehow needs to be enforced. Like, I don't know what the ordinance is, if it's a code violation, but like, every one of these signs should get, really should get a ticket,
So, with your permission, we'll have council draft an ordinance that reflects what we've discussed, and we'll circulate it.
Sounds good.
Yes.
See what you think about it, yeah.
Sounds good.
Get it all down, Matt?
Didn't make any changes, it's all in the ordinance.
It's all there.
Well, no, I think what we want to do is focus, tighten up about maybe something about new goods and putting something in here, just to, so if it's like one or two, we'll talk. I know what you're concerned about, and that's a valid concern.
The key part is gonna come down to if there's no permit. I mean, they come into Tracy's office, they've maxed out, they don't get a permit, and they still do it without the permit. So maybe the language to display the permit is the way to go. But like if you're doing construction, you have to display the permit, make it the same way.
And at the end of the week, or the week, on a Friday, we can send the list to either code or police.
Yeah.
Just don't know who you,
Yeah.
Or both.
You gotta figure out.
Yeah.
so then they'll know.
Well, that was something you guys, sorry for interrupting, that was
Way
something you
back.
guys used to do years
Yes.
ago, right? It
Yes,
used
if
to
you
go,
would fax
and
it
then-
over to the police, not code, just the police.
Right, well, because it doesn't generally work on the weekend, so it's
Right.
at least driving around, and if they have it in their car, and they pass 12 Purple Street, and there's a garage sale going, and it's not on their list, then they know they don't have a permit.
Okay, we're good with that?
Yeah.
The next item involves the redevelopment plan for downtown and language with regard to the sign section. At the present time, there is a prohibition on backlit lighting, specifically that type of lighting that is translucent and has fluorescent bulbs in it that shines outward into the community. There's also another type of backlit lighting, and that is the one where the letters are illuminated behind them and the light shines around them. And those type of signs are acceptable, or we'd like them to be acceptable. But we want to improve the prohibition on the glaring, big fluorescent backlights.
They used to not be allowed, but somehow with the new redevelopment plan, they got put back in the internally illuminated signs. And it was gonna get changed, but things happen, and you know how. So now we're here again, and it does add, having the signs that correspond with the downtown, I think are really important. So there's just a couple places where we could remove internally illuminated, and and as Steve said, put in language to allow the backlit letters.
One of the catalysts for this a long time ago was the fact that similarly where you can't have flashing neon signs coming down Main Street or South Street, they're a distraction for drivers. And with the internally lit signs, those lights shine at passing cars and whatnot can be a distraction. So I remember that we had for the sign ordinances, you could have what's called halo lights, which is the second form of light that
Right.
Steve was talking about.
Right.
Where the lighting is encased behind the sign lettering, so the sign looks like it has the lettering looks like it has a glow to it, like a shadow, not a shadow, but a lit glow to it. Those are better because they are not direct lights through the sign. The lighting is inside the letters and shines at the backboard of the sign. Whereas the internally lit signs, they shine through plastic, either translucent or semi-translucent glass or plastic, and it's a bulb that's or LED light that's directly at passerbys, and it can be a distraction.
And as an example, Raman Nagomi has the big lights where the bulbs are in the letters and it shines backwards and it halos the letters, and it's an attractive sign. The new Ramen place, unfortunately, has a backlit fluorescent where the light shines through the letters out to the street. So when you're driving down, you can see the difference between the two. An example, whenever I sat on the planning board in my hometown for 10 years, and we always had these businesses, the corporations, usually Mobil, Exxon, 7-Eleven, CVS, they'd insist that the corporate standard requires that they have this specific sign. And if you imagine the 7-Eleven sign with the big 7, and it's got the white all around it, and in the immortal words of Bruce Springsteen, meet me beneath that giant Exxon sign that brings this fair city light. Well, these things light up the city. They're very, very bright, and it's something that you may want to consider regulating further.
I think CVS is a perfect example. On the back, they've got a nice carved synthetic wood sign with gooseneck lights. On the front, they've got, channel letters. Imagine both of those signs, 1,000 watts.
I'm sure they didn't start out that way, though.
No, they did start out that way because I actually have the minutes from the,
Okay.
yes, the answer is they started out.
Okay, well, that's cool.
So are we going to grandfather the signs that are already up there?
I don't think you can make people change.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
the
make
signs.
people change. I just want to, going forward, get back into the direction that we were going.
And if you go to Savannah, Georgia, there are corporations there that have been told that if you look at what they have, like a McDonald's,
Right.
they haven't got a sign anything like what their corporate.
It's
represents.
amazing, really.
So if you make them,
Sure.
do what you want to do in a historic district, then you'll get it done.
Starbucks is a perfect example of a company that started in a historic district. Hence why their logo is two colors, green and white, and it was a wood carved sign. That's how their logo started.
So, again, take a look at those two examples, and we'll draft something I'll circulate it for you to read, and if there's an interest, then we'll have something ready to be introduced. The next item is downtown crosswalks, and we have individually, I've spoken with most of you about this, and the Downtown Partnership's position is that they would like to see the crosswalks done in what's called stamped asphalt, where they take a pattern and they heat it up and they press it into the road surface, and it looks like brick. And then they paint it with red paint, and it creates the appearance it's a pretty good appearance of a brick sidewalk in the crosswalks. The reason I'm told that they want to do this downtown is that they want to set it off from the rest of the community. They want you to have a sense of arrival and a sense of placemaking. When you're downtown, this is part of the motif and the way that it looks. The problem that we've experienced in the past with these types of crosswalks is that they are expensive to maintain. They require almost annual maintenance in terms of painting and renewing. Someone's got to come back every couple of years and re-stamp them. There are improvements lately in terms of technology that are more durable, but we certainly have our share of examples of these crosswalks that have not been maintained and they've worn off. And it doesn't, we have a limited public works staff to do this. It would have to be done at night and have to be done paying overtime. The alternative is to standardize all crosswalks in the community so they all look the same, so that they reflect the standard in the manual, which is a ladder type crosswalk. It's white blocks of a certain width, and when you look at it and you see it, you know you're approaching a crosswalk. They're considered to be the safest type of crosswalks. They are much less expensive to maintain. They can be refreshed with white paint periodically, or they can be done with thermoplastic every few years. Thermoplastic lasts a long time. So there's two sides to the discussion in terms of standardizing them, the whole community, so that it shares the same type of crosswalk, and or having downtown have a separate look. One little fly in the ointment is that I'm advised that the Department of Transportation will not allow stamped crosswalks on their roads. So anything on South Street or Main Street heading out of town would have to be their standard. I'm just telling you, this is what I was advised by our engineers. So if there's a deviation from that, I'm not aware of it. Okay. And as Jeff points out, he says it's not true, and frankly, there are stamped crosswalks there now. But I believe the rules may have changed, but, so.
I think there are DOT manuals, I think you can find almost anything you want in a DOT. Like, I see DOT manuals that say, yes, that's the preferred one. I've got other DOT manuals you can pull up. I think I sent some people stuff that says it's preferred because it's traffic calming,
Yeah.
I think you can basically
I don't.
defend either argument you want.
I don't want to leave you with the impression that I think that I know it all or anything. I'm just telling you what I know. The last piece of information is that to install these crosswalks, it costs 7 times the expense of putting in the ladder style crosswalks. It's, I have the figures here.
You had me at 7 times the expense.
So here's the question, are we gonna go back and change every crosswalk that's been stamped over the last 30 years? I mean, I think that's gonna be a pretty big expense.
How many are there?
6. And this is a I got here from the 2003 In Touch Freehold Partnership newsletter. This has been since 2003. This town has been, Mike Wilson started it. This is this is copies of the article from the. I think it's important. The downtown represents $170 million in property value. It's an economic driver to our community, a central economic driver. And, I don't even think it should be, quite frankly, I don't think the stamped crosswalks should be limited to downtown. There are on Barcelo, there are on Center Street, I wouldn't mind if the stamped crosswalks everywhere. But I think, downtown specifically is a sense of place. We're gonna do 4 this way, 4 that way. I just feel like this is a project that has been now generationally in process. And I think there's something to continuity and investment in that continuity that's important.
I agree with you 100%. The only thing we disagree on is the style of crosswalk.
I appreciate that.
Steve Kissick advises me that crosswalks are typically 6 feet wide and 30 feet long. A standard stripe crosswalk costs $288. A stamped asphalt crosswalk will be $3,500.
I thought he came back and gave us a price for $17,000, there's a difference.
Well, that's for 5 of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not 7 times, it's
Well-
$17,000 each?
No.
No, it's $3,500 each or $288 each. That's the difference. So, whatever $3,500 divided by $288 is about seven. It's about 7 times more.
So do the white stripe ones require more maintenance than the?
They require maintenance. You know, it's not like we get a free ride on them. But what it involves is you go with the paint or a thermoplastic and you stripe it. You renew the stripes every couple of years. The thermoplastic, you have to do the white stripes and then you have to switch to the red. And if the lines are wearing off, you have to have somebody come in and stamp the asphalt again.
But that's a very long time. I mean, that's 15, the ones downtown where the red is all off, those grooves are still there, and that's
Yeah.
been 20 years.
It depends upon traffic volume, yeah.
There's no more traffic than in front of all records in this town.
Yeah. So what we're talking about right now is we have a job in the field, and there are 5 crosswalks in this particular job that need to be done. They're gonna be done one way or the other. Yeah, I don't know where 6 came from.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jeff said 6, there are 5.
Oh, I
Yes.
don't, what, five?
There's 4 at Throckmorton Street and Main Street, all 4 legs are gonna be redone. And there's 1 on South Street, but it goes across Mechanic Street. It doesn't cross South Street. It goes, if you're heading along South Street, not crossing South Street.
where you turn in again.
Yeah. Mhm. So,
Well, I get both arguments. I mean, no doubt the others would look nice and be in, but on the other hand, can we justify? I mean, I'd like to see a Cadillac in my driveway too, but if I can't get it, maybe I could save for it for the future. But I just don't know if we can justify, as I've said to Jeff before, the
sure.
expense.
That's why my friend Jeff and I have been tossing this back and forth for quite a while now. I will tell you this, we have the money available in the grant. We can pay for it with the grant funds that we currently have. But
The upkeep.
the upkeep goes on forever. And I do agree with Jeff that we need to standardize. I think everything should be the same. And if the issue with DOT allowing it or not allowing it is a wrinkle in this.
I think we really have to get clarification on that.
Yeah, I had a couple that I brought here. Okay, the intersection of Main Street and South Street is being done by the New Jersey Department of Transportation.
Correct.
They're putting new curbing in and new crosswalks. They are going to use the latter crosswalk, the white stripes. Steve Kislik writes to me, the DOT will have no impact on our project. The DOT will stripe the crosswalks since they do not approve stamped asphalt. So the ones we're talking about are in our jurisdiction, but the ones in their jurisdiction, I'm told, are gonna be ladders, striped ladders.
Well, I'm with Annette. I think we need to get a clarification on this, what they do and do not allow,
Yeah, well, our engineer tells us it's not
that
allowed.
they don't allow.
Yeah.
But is it not allowed because the DOT won't do it, or if we decide to do it, it's not allowed?
I'm
allowed.
advised that it's not allowed at all. Jeff has other advice.
Well, not allowed on state roads at all.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
on-
yeah.
Right, it's allowed, it's just not allowed, you're saying it's not allowed on state roads.
Well, that's what we're talking
Well, there's
about.
Well, I just
Well,
don't
she was
think.
talking about, I wasn't sure if she was asking about roads in there.
Yeah, I don't think it's advisable to put in pretty crosswalks when we have so many things that we need to address and we have limited finances. While I appreciate, the desire to have it, I would say that we need to wait until, we start seeing revenue from some of the revenue sources that we're building. Once we do that, then maybe we can come back to this and take a look at it, but right now, I don't think it's the right time to do something like this. I think we do the standard crosswalks, for now, and that if they need to be maintained, we do the standard get more information on what this would be, and maybe down the road, we can consider something like this as our revenue, increases.
So you said this would be covered by the grant?
Yes, there's money left in the grant that we
The
have.
initial
These
cost.
five
because-
questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
initial
So I guess my feeling is that, we're always talking about who we are, Railboro, and we are an historic community. And if you go to any historic community in the state, this is what they have in your downtown. This is,
It's an interesting comment. I circulated an article that you may have read. The borough of Princeton installed these crosswalks, and then they removed them all because their historic commission said they weren't historic to the
You
town.
mean the stamped ones?
Any brick, they didn't want any brick in their crosswalks, because it wasn't reflective of the history of the community. Historically, they didn't have bricks crosswalks, so they ordered them to take them all out. And that was right after they just installed them. They had a lot more money
who
than we
wanted
did.
them to take them out?
The historic commission
Historic.
in
What does our
Princeton.
historic commission think?
Our historic commission would rather have the stamped asphalt. Just a quick question, the DOT project that you're talking about,
Yeah,
when is that supposed to occur?
it's going on right now.
Okay, so it wouldn't make sense to approve anything right now if potentially speaking DOT's gonna come in and tear it up and do whatever they
Well,
can.
no, this area DOT has nothing to do with. The area where this project is our property.
Right, but, so there's five locations?
Yep.
3 on Park Morton.
Three on Throck-
Four on Throckmorton and one on
Oh,
McCarran.
Four on Throckmorton and one on McKenna.
Yeah.
Okay. However, they are tearing up South Street, correct?
That's their project, has nothing to do with us.
And the one on Mechanic is at the intersection of
It
Mechanic?
goes across Mechanic, it doesn't go across South.
Okay, but it's still adjacent to the work that they're doing.
It's adjacent.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing any sort of work in that concrete, or in that intersection there until after DOT is done, because who knows what they're gonna do.
The work's being done no matter what.
No, what I'm suggesting is that we shouldn't do anything on,
Right, but our guys are already in the field, that work's being done no matter, right?
Yeah, the current
It's
project
being done.
is going to get done before, they didn't go out for bid yet on South Street, the DOT, so we don't know when they're actually gonna start working on it.
okay,
And there's a number of discussions going on with the DOT about the crosswalks.
okay. I like the stamped concrete, stamped asphalt. I like the difference that it makes. I would like to see if we have grant funding to be able to pay for the initial cost. I'd like to see what the upkeep cost is in comparison to, in comparison to the thermoplastic. I know I'm sure it's not as low as the thermoplastic, but I'd like to know what the upkeep cost is. I am wondering if DOT is a firm no, that we cannot do the intersections around South and Main. Then how does that look if we have, 5 crosswalks stamped and 4 crosswalks as ladders, and the crosswalk in front of the pedestrian crosswalk in front of American Hotel would also potentially be under DOT's purview, so that would be a ladder as well.
It
allowed
apparently
now.
is allowed,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'd like to see what DOT's standpoint is, whether it's, we're not gonna do it because it's our work, or whether it's we're not gonna do it, but after we're said and done, it's,
Yeah. I asked our engineer to confirm this with DOT, and the answer was they will not allow it on their roads.
We'll get it in right.
If you could cajole them, I mean, maybe you can talk them into it. We have friends who can make phone calls, if you want to,
So if we use the grant money for these stamped crosswalks, what's not getting done?
Nothing,
Because of these
it's extra
crosswalks.
money. There's nothing that's not getting, we're not moving money from one part of the project to another. The bid came in lower than the anticipated budget.
And I've spoken to the executive board of the partnership, and they're open to, helping maintain.
and the lifetime of the stamped asphalt is
It's dependent on the
Traffic flow.
traffic.
I mean, so the last thing you said was 2003 they were done?
Well, no, it's been a process. I mean, that's when this project
Started.
started.
Okay.
And then they've been, now most of the crosswalks downtown now are the stamp.
Right.
the ones down there in downtown area, I was actually the inspector back in 2004 on Precise Construction, were the ones that did that job then, overnight, for several nights, I remember. Those are my
How many
favorites.
times have they been redone since?
What's that?
Do you know how many times they've been redone
That
since?
was it. That was it. I'm not sure how many times they were maintained.
They've been
after that.
painted a couple times.
But not re-stamped.
Not
Not
re-stamped.
re-stamped, yeah.
And the new system, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, is my understanding from what I've been reading about it, it like basically turns it goes into the stone, so the stone is red. So it's not just a paint that
Right.
wears off.
That's correct.
It's as it wears off, it's red, like a real brick
Throughout.
would be
Yeah, throughout.
throughout. So you don't have that wear off. So if 20 years later we still have the depressions, we should technically still have red.
Impressions.
Better than what it is now, that's for sure.
Right.
For me, I'd rather see the stamped asphalt as well. I think that if there's grant funding to be able to pay for it, and if the partnership is willing to subsidize that in order to make sure that 10, 20 years out of it, I think that's if there's nothing else that we're doing with the grant funding, and this kind of just gives a little bit of an extra, I don't want to say flair, but an extra look to the downtown area. I think something that we have now, I think it's beneficial to, I know it's not historic, but it's our
It
downtown.
doesn't create a benefit, it just looks.
It's a visual benefit.
Okay.
You guys wanna weigh in? Chairman?
I just want to make one comment, the crosswalks by Rockland, the 4 crosswalks, I mean, that whole project was for safety purposes, and although I really feel those crosswalks are beautiful, they're not as safe as the 24-inch wide white thermoplastic reflector crosswalks. So we're gonna, those are beautiful, but they're not as safe as the 24-inch wide.
As part of the project, aren't we doing like a thing in the middle with
Yes.
stamped bricks and that?
Yes, we are.
So,
yeah.
So we're sticking that in the middle of the road,
But
and
that's
it's
not,
safe, but the crosswalk.
you're safe in the island, but where you're crossing is where the reflective thermoplastic is.
On the stamp, is there white lines on the outside?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Always has been.
How about this? I'm just gathering all this, and sometimes I start off once upon a time when I do talk, but the partnership wants to give us money to maintain. I believe in uniformity. I believe the uniformity is why you have that little, I've never known why McCash Street had this little section of bricks, and then you have a crosswalk with in white paint that goes across. So it's somewhat confusing to a person that doesn't know what crosswalks should look like, what they do look like. I walked on the bricks, stamped asphalt, and they are a little slippery sometimes. How about this? If we do them in white, if the partnership, downtown business people, and Joe's Barbershop will be one of them, stamps, welcome to Freehold, Joe's Barbershop, before you walk out to the crosswalks in this way, it advertises for our downtown people. Welcome to Court Jester, welcome to Freehold Court Jester, welcome to Sweet Lou's, welcome, and it's more warm downtown. That's my once upon a time thought.
I don't even know how that would work.
I think it'd be kind of cool if you had something,
Might be very cool.
have
I
a
just
white
technically I have
crosswalk
no
that's
clue
less
about.
maintenance, but yet the big business people can get involved and say, when I start walking across our street, I see welcome to Freehold.
When you're crossing the street, the last thing you want to do is read any kind of lettering.
Oh, now it's.
Sorry.
I
You want to see if you cross the street.
You're saying like on the sidewalk before you actually get
Oh, okay, I'm
into the
sorry.
street.
No, not in the middle of it, I mean, while you're
He's
reading.
talking about it, yeah, he's talking about it, yeah.
My 12-year-old kid is going boop, 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 to the button, trying to get across, and I have to say, that doesn't do anything, stop doing that. Read what that says now. I'm just trying to get a happy medium here, I think it could be a more uniform look downtown.
What do we do with all the brick sidewalks, stamped crosswalks we have now? We go back and change them to white crosswalk ones?
Well,
That's probably gonna cost that's gonna make up 7 times difference.
we have the equipment to do that in-house, but many of them need to be refreshed. I mean, you know, they, one way or another, they need a touch-up, because most of them are worn away.
All right, I'm gonna jump in here. I honestly like the brick look, and back in 2003, I was part of Mike Wilson pushing this because I remember Heightstown had it, and I thought it was a cool look. But I think we're kind of spinning our wheels. If we're looking at uniformity, if the state's not gonna let us do it, you know, so if we can confirm that, the four main, in front of the Hall of Records, those four crosswalks on Main and South Street, you know, and Court Street there, everything goes from that point out. If they can't be brick in the dead smack middle of town, I don't think we're ever gonna get that uniformity. And we're gonna, it's gonna be sporadic all over the place. So as I think personally, I would like to find out
Okay.
the state job, what they're gonna do, like definitively, you know, involve the county, involve whoever's
I've spoken to the county about this,
yeah.
and they,
Whoever's got a say in it, can get it in writing from the state. And if the state will do the brick crosswalk in the middle of town, then I think we revisit ours and we can make the downtown area in the brick. But if the state's not gonna do it, there's no sense in us doing it. You know, cause they're the core main, the center of town is the main part of it. And if we don't have it there, I don't know why we need it anywhere else if we can't have it there.
You know, I was thinking about what Anthony said about the safety of the things, and especially if there's not uniformity. Sometimes those stamped ones, which I prefer, are mistaken for decoration. They're not white. The white ladder thing signals crosswalk. And especially if that's going to be right here in the middle of town. And then the others are,
Yeah, I think we need to confirm with the state.
yeah, I think we need
what the plan
more.
is.
I can't make a decision tonight.
Okay, Anthony and I'll get together and we'll get an answer. Hopefully, within a day or so. We'll get back to you. Okay, and I appreciate this robust discussion. Both sides of the issue have merit, and this is what the workings of government are supposed to be about. People talking about different ideas and trying to come up with a solution. So this was a good exercise, and I appreciate it. The next item I have is dumpster regulations, and you may be surprised to find out that there are no dumpster regulations for dumpsters in commercial areas in town. If you wanted to get a dumpster and put it in front of your house because you were renovating or something, you have to come and get a permit. The police have to review it and say it's a safe location, and then you can have your dumpster dropped. If you wanted to do the same thing in a commercial zone downtown, there's no regulation, so you can just do it. The ordinance is silent on that, correct, Matt?
but isn't there something about a dumpster enclosure?
Well, yes, but that's for refuse dumpsters, not construction dumpsters.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'd just like to extend the same rules to the entire borough.
Yeah, I think we save a lot of time on this one, just make it the same as residential.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Could I just also bring up something else with dumpsters? Can we, and maybe not in this discussion, but in a future discussion, can we have a discussion, because we had changed last year or a year and a half ago, there was an ordinance change about trash downtown, and it seemed to only cover some buildings. We had some back and forth about who it affects. I'd like to revisit that and see if we can't tighten it up to get as much of the trash off the street as possible in the commercial district.
Sure. Just to be clear, the ordinance requires enclosures for dumpsters. If you have trash dumpsters, whether they be 4-yarders or 10-yarders, it's supposed to be in an enclosure. Even if historically it wasn't, or somebody never enforced it, they're supposed to be inside an enclosure and beyond people being able to see this overflowing dumpster. And there are some places where they don't have the room for an enclosure, and we need to figure out a solution to those areas.
I was just about to ask that, should we change, when we change the ordinance, I can think that the McGackin lot is going to lot because a lot of those dumpsters are just out
Right.
at restaurants and whatnot.
Sure.
I know there's plans to rework the lot, potentially add part of it to on the Throckmorton side, but is there something that we can do or temporarily create a new dumpster enclosure, public dumpster enclosure back there?
You're talking about a joint dumpster enclosure?
Yeah.
It's something that we have to look at, yeah, I mean,
That's the eventual goal.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
but if, like, for instance, this ordinance is gonna happen before the McGacken lot gets redone, if that goes into effect, you're gonna have at least, I'd probably say at least half a dozen or more dumpsters that are not enclosures
right,
that are gonna have to go, and the unfortunate thing
Well,
is that.
so it's actually, no, because you've got Elmason, which dumpsters are enclosed.
Mhm.
There is the Peruvian place where they are enclosed. There is, what's his name, La Cipollina, where they are enclosed. Then Charcoal, they got their garbage cans enclosed and they take their garbage to the common dumpster. I think if we get rid of the dumpsters, we just make people do what Charcoal does, bring their trash over to the common dumpster.
No, I mean, there's still probably about half a dozen.
Well, there's, about 4 or 5 at that point, yes.
yeah. I mean, we have a dumpster enclosure here in our lot that we're gonna look at, see if it can be expanded, and maybe
Yeah.
that would be another common location. And Jeff and I have to work on it, and we'll come up with some proposal to standardize it, you know. The whole idea is to get garbage managed in a way that has the least impact upon.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's something where we, meet in the middle where the borough provides a closure, but it's still under the businesses that have to pay for the dumpster. There's something in the McGacken lot,
Yeah,
just something so that, my biggest concern is that the restaurants and businesses now that have dumpsters, which would be voided by this ordinance, are just going to overflow something that's back there, like the trash can, the one trash can that's in the aisle, or something like that, without regard for what they're actually supposed to be doing.
just so you folks know, when I was working in Keyport, we were directed to come here to Freehold to see how to do it right because of the community dumpsters, and we used that idea up in Freehold, where we put a community dumpster in. I talked to Kerry Higgins at the time about the rules and everything. It was before I got here. And the next item, Adam, is yours, the Memorial Day Parade.
Thank you. This is the council meeting where we discuss the upcoming Memorial Day weekend. I know I have some big shoes to fill, since George usually does this. I can't match his cadence, but I'll do my best to get through this with your permission. So, Memorial Day is upcoming soon. In Freelborough, there are 5 veteran organizations in the area. There's the American Legion Post 54, the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 74, the Jewish War Veterans Post 359, and the Marine Corps League Corporal Philip A. Reynolds Detachment number 203, and the Veterans of Foreign War Post number 4374. On a rotating basis, each year, one of the organizations is named as the lead veteran group for the Freehold Memorial Day Parade. That veteran organization selects the theme of the parade and is given the honor of determining who will be the parade's Grand Marshal. This year, the lead veteran organization for the Memorial Day Parade is the Marine Corps League, Corporal Philip A. Reynolds Detachment number 203. The theme for this year's parade, as decided by the Marine Corps League, is Honor Our Fallen. The Parade Grand Marshal of the 2024 Freehold Memorial Day Parade, as selected by the Marine Corps League, is Korean-era veteran Corporal Joseph Arcolio. Joseph Arcolio was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1931 and moved to the Freehold area when he was 2 years old. He enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps in March of 1951 and trained in Parris Island, South Carolina. His first duty station was in Camp Lejeune, Marine Corps Base, Montford Point Camp in Jacksonville, North Carolina, with the Motor Transportation Division, before he was transferred to Arlington, Virginia, for his second duty station during the Korean War era, where he attended to and assisted dignitaries and generals in and around Washington, D.C. He ended his enlistment in March of 1954 with the rank of corporal. During his active duty, Corporal Arcolio was awarded the National Defense Medal for serving during the Korean War, the Good Conduct Medal for serving honorably and faithfully for 3 consecutive years, and the Marine Corps Rifle Sharpshooter Qualification Badge for achieving a score between 280 and 304 on the Combat Rifle Program training. After returning to Freehold, he married Elizabeth McMahon, and they built a home together here, literally and figuratively. He started a construction company that was well established for over 45 years. Corporal Arcolio is 93 years young and is the oldest member of the Corporal Philip A. Reynolds Marine Corps League Detachment. He joined in 1991, over 33 years ago, served as post commandant in 2003 and 2004, and is past pound keeper of the Military Order of the Devil Dogs Pound number 227, the League's Fun and Honor Society, which provides entertainment at League's gatherings, fundraisers for the League's charities, and above all, maintains the League's principles and ideals while fostering American Institutes of Freedom and defending America. As far as Memorial Day goes, Monday, May 27th, 2024 is Memorial Day. The morning begins with the traditional service of reflection. This ceremony is held at Elks Point, where Route 79 and 537 converge, at 8:30 a.m. The service of reflection is in memory of all Freehold and other American servicemen and servicewomen who lost their lives defending our nation. Each and every one of our veterans and the ones who made the ultimate sacrifice, represented by the crosses and stars of David at Elks Point, have honored us through their brave commitment to our country. The invocation that morning will be given by Rabbi Brooke Sussman from Congregation Kol Am, the benediction by Reverend Dr. Cheryl August from Bethel AME Church, and the national anthem and God Bless America will be performed by the St. Rosalima Church Choir. Additionally, former Councilman George Snur will be the Master of Ceremonies for the service of reflection. He will be assisted by the Marine Corps League and the Boy Scout Troops 115 and 18. This year's parade is the 150th Memorial Day Parade. The Freehold Memorial Day Parade is the state's longest running parade of its kind and Monmouth County's largest such parade. The Memorial Day Parade is as old as the Kentucky Derby and is the 11th oldest parade in the nation. It is one of the signature events in our community. When the parade honoring our veterans started, there were only 37 states in our nation. This year's parade will be the largest in recent memory, with over 80 units and additional invited dignitaries participating. The parade will officially commence at 9:45 a.m. at Brinkerhoff Avenue and Main Street, with the stepping off of a horse-drawn caisson wagon transporting a flag-draped casket accompanied by active military from various branches of service. The casket will be pulled down the parade route to remind us why we were all there, to honor our fallen. At 10 a.m., the Veterans Group will begin to march down Main Street, followed by the rest of the parade. This year, Chris Honig, a former on-air sports reporter for radio and television, and current MC for the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, will be the Master of Ceremonies for the Memorial Day Parade. We, like in past years, are renaming a few streets in the community to honor our veterans. Hull Avenue will be renamed Private Robert G. Hurley Avenue, a relative of one of our residents who was killed in action in Korea in an area called the Punch Bowl. Manalapan Avenue will be renamed Tech Sergeant Milton Jackson Avenue. The Jewish War Veterans Post in Freehold is co-named for him as well. He was killed in action in World War II in a plane crash in Italy. Henry Street will be renamed First Lieutenant David Olensky Street, another one of the namesakes of the Jewish War Veterans Post in Freehold, who was killed in action in World War II during the Battle of the Bulge. Lincoln Place will be renamed Corporal Edmund M. Rohand Avenue, the brother of one of our Marine Corps League's volunteers who was killed in action in Korea while flying a mission for the Army Air Corps. Center Street will be renamed Colonel Nathaniel Scudder Street, the highest ranking officer from Freehold to be killed in action. He saw battle during the Revolutionary War while fighting the British in Shrewsbury, New Jersey. McLean Street will be renamed Corporal John A. Felton Street, a Korean War veteran who was killed in action. He was a highly decorated Marine. Murray Street will be renamed Corporal Philip A. Reynolds Drive, a Korean War veteran which the Marine Corps League Post in Freehold is named after. He was killed in action in Korea and is the most decorated Marine killed in action from the Freehold area. Broadway will be renamed Corporal John Bosco Way, a Korean War veteran, longtime parade volunteer, past Marine Corps League Commandant, and Parade Grand Marshal. Spring Street will be renamed Petty Officer First Class Walter Kowalski Street, Walter Cross Court, a longtime parade volunteer, past VFW Commander, Parade Grand Marshal, and World War II veteran who fought for the Navy in the Pacific. Sheriff Street will be renamed Corporal John Mazekian Way, a long-time parade volunteer, past Marine Corps League Commandant, Parade Grand Marshal, and World War II veteran who fought in Iwo Jima. Chain Street will be renamed Corporal Timothy S. Rohan Street, a Marine Corps League member, Korean War veteran, longtime parade volunteer, and worked closely with former Councilman George Snur at Elks Points for over a decade. New to this year, Oak Street will be renamed to Lewis Brothers Lane, in honor of the 6 Lewis brothers who fought in every branch of the military in World War II. Alexander served in the Navy, Donald served in the Army Air Corps, Lester served in the Army and received the Bronze Star, Peyton served in the Army, Augustus served in the Marine, and Biggerton Buddy Jr. served in the Army. The Mayor and Council would like to thank the following people. The Memorial Day Parade Committee. Each parade is important, but this year's is a major milestone in the history of our great town. And the committee has done a fantastic job at making it the biggest and best parade we've seen in a long time. It's been an honor and pleasure to assist with all the hard work of Chairperson Alice McCobb, Vice Chair and Secretary Treasurer Amanda McCobb, Christine Jensen, Rebecca Ponder of the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 74, Kenneth Polchapek of the American Legion Post 54, Jody Rosato, George Snur, Edward Temple of the Corporal Philip A. Reynolds Attachment Marine Corps League, and Bernard Weinstein of the Ogensky Jackson Post 359 of the Jewish War Veterans. As council liaison to the parade committee, I would like to personally thank them for all they do year after year to ensure the Memorial Day Parade is second to none. The Department of Public Works. There is a lot of preparation details that require their involvement. The DPW Director, Joe Flautis, and his crew put a lot of effort to make sure that we're parade ready. Thank you for helping us make Freehold Borough beautiful for the parade each year. The Freehold Borough Police Department, Sergeant Nick Iozzi, is the police department liaison for the parade and does a tremendous job coordinating the various law enforcement departments who will be assisting us on Memorial Day. Please express our thanks to him and our great police department for taking care of all the coordination items that are handled behind the scenes and for making sure the event is safe for all the participants and the visitors. Especially for you, Forrest. Marlene Rogala and her wonderful team provide the ceremonial wreaths that we use at Elks Point in front of our monuments, as well as the crosses of the unknown soldiers, comrades lost at sea, and the Battle of Monmouth Cross. Thank you for your kind donations. And last but not least, all the residents and business owners of Freehold Borough. It's always wonderful to see all the homes, offices, and other businesses with trimmed lawns, tidy landscapes, and patriotic decorations along and around the parade route. We appreciate all the consideration you give to the parade attendees, participants, municipal employees, and visitors on Memorial Day. We understand that the no parking restrictions and road closures are a brief change in the norm, but we hope the minor inconvenience won't dour your spirit or how you respond to others that morning. A special thank you to the residents that opened their doors to allow for refreshments and quick access to bathrooms parade morning. No doubt the parents of our young ones are truly grateful for the latter. While the parade committee spearheads the coordination efforts to pull together such a fantastic event each year, it truly takes a village to make the event one of the biggest and best our community hosts each year. Thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you along the parade route. And as a reprieve this year, I'm actually only marching it twice, as far as I know. Other years it's been 3 or 4 times. So thank you all for your time, I appreciate it, and looking forward to celebrating Memorial Day with everybody.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Item 5 is the approval of minutes, council meeting April 15th, 2024.
I'll offer that.
Second. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, the minutes of council meeting April 15th, 2024 are approved. Item 6 is the first reading introduction to ordinance 2024/8 to amend and supplement Title 15, Buildings and Construction of the Code of the Borough of Freehold, amending jurisdiction of the sign committee.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2024/8 is introduced. Item 7 is the first reading and introduction. Ordinance 2024/9, amending and supplementing Title 2, Administration and Personnel by amending Chapter 2.114, Historic Preservation Advisory Commission.
I'll offer that.
Second?
Discussion?
Yes, please. This coincides with the previous ordinance that was introduced regarding the certificate of appropriateness for sign subcommittee work.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2024/9 is introduced. Item 8 is first reading and introduction ordinance 2024/10, amending and supplementing Title 8, Health and Safety of the Code of the Borough of Freehold.
I'll offer that.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2024/10 is introduced. Item 9 is the first reading and introduction ordinance 2024/11, amending and supplementing Title 8, Health and Safety by amending Chapter 8.40, Property Maintenance Code.
I'll make a motion for that.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2024/11 is introduced. Item 10 is a resolution accepting the assessment role of the Special Improvement District of the Borough of Freehold.
I'll offer that.
Second?
Discussion?
Just for the record, note that Councilman Friedman stepped off today for these.
Okay. He didn't leave the building, though, did he?
There's no way out.
There's no way out.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Question. Is this a part of the downtown district?
Yes.
So you can abstain.
I'll abstain.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, that resolution is adopted. Item 11 is a resolution accepting and introducing the budget of the Special Improvement District and setting the date for the public hearing and adoption, June 17, 2024.
I'll move that.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, that resolution is adopted. Item 12 is our consent agenda. Just to note that matters listed under the items of consent agenda are required to conduct the day-to-day operation of the borough and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There'll be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired of any item, that item will be considered separately.
Can we consider CR3 separately, please?
Okay, we'll,
CR3,
Yes.
and I would like CR2 separate.
CR2, CR3, anybody else? Or would someone like to
I
move?
would like, yes, I would like to move it.
Wait a minute though.
Discussion.
All right, so somebody like to move item CR1 and then CR4 through CR9.
I would like to move that.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to point out to anyone who has the agenda in front of them that item D under CR8 is the abolishing the position of crossing guards for the following individuals and listed those individuals. And it is nothing more than we have privatized that service. So those folks were rehired. They're just now not under the charge of the police department. And those folks were all rehired, and this will benefit them as well as the town. So I just want you to know we didn't abolish the crossing guards. We abolished, we're not in charge of them anymore. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda items CR1 and CR4 through CR9 are adopted. We'll go back item, consent agenda item CR2, qualifying firms for professional services contracts. Someone like to offer that?
I'll offer it.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
No.
Okay, item CR2 is adopted. Item CR3, modifying metered parking regulations and rates. Someone like to move that?
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson DiBenedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Abstain.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
No.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, item CR3 is adopted. That's the end of our consent agenda. Item 13 is the approval of bills.
I'd like to move that we pay our bills.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson DiBenedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, our bill list is approved. Item 14 is a redevelopment presentation, 31 East Main Street. The applicant, Sonora Ratani, Burrito Bowl Mexico Grill, seeking amendment to 2019 FCCRP for parking. I'm gonna ask our attorney, Matt Good, if he could just set this up for us, please.
Sure, I think though, there might be a miscorrection, we're not looking for an amendment to the plan. I think that was based upon the number of parking spaces that were being less, my understanding, and our planner and our engineer will confirm this, that there's a change of use being proposed from an office space to a restaurant, and there's a parking change that goes from a grandfathered in 5 to a meeting of 14 based upon the number of seats and the number of employees. So it's a 9 differential, so we don't need to amend the ordinance or amend the downtown plan. It will still have to go, if they're approved by the council, to the planning board for a bulk variance for the parking, as well as pay any amounts necessary for a parking. But in this scenario, we have Mr. Allen, who we're all familiar with.
I've always been confused by that variance business. The ordinance says that the planning board can't grant a variance.
Bulk variance. Bulk variance for a parking of 9 to 0,
Okay.
or
Or basic position would be Prince Allen, for the applicant, I'm sorry. And the applicant is here as Greg Clark, the parking. I was one of the only people in town who was in favor of the paid parking. One of the reasons is to get rid of all the problems with paid parking. There's plenty of parking over there. Historically, Carl Steinberg told me years ago that when that was originally approved, there was some kind of, and I couldn't find any documentation, there was some kind of waiver of the parking requirements. I guess because the lot is so big and it's a county lot. And the review that Barbara, my friend Barbara, seems like a planning board review. So I think we're going there. All we're really looking for the go-ahead from the mayor and council that we should be able to put a restaurant there. If anybody has any specific questions, we'd be here. Try to answer.
All right, you wanna just walk us through a little bit, cause it's the corner, it's the old, you wanna just run us through the plan real quick, maybe Mr. Clark,
Yeah, absolutely.
run us through.
Yeah, Greg Clark, architect for the applicant. Do you need to be sworn in or is we-
no, this is just a presentation.
How many of these have I done? Always forget. Okay, so the subject's space, actually, it's an interior pre-existing tenant fit-out space that's on 31 East Main. You'll recognize the corner, the tower space essentially is where it's going to be located. Formerly, it was the Envoy mortgage space, if any of you are familiar with the immediate previous tenant that was in there. So the space itself is approximately 2,000, what do I have here? About 2,038 square feet, 2,083 square feet. My client intends to do a fast casual restaurant called Burrito Bowl. The food will be prepared on premises. The patrons will then have a choice to either sit in one of the 45 seats that we're proposing, or they can just do a takeout and leave the premises. So essentially, we are proposing no exterior improvements to the actual space. There will be a sign. The sign is in the works right now, so it will be approved by the sign committee, at which time the sign design is complete. And that's pretty much it. There's, as I said, there's no exterior improvements. We're just working within the inside envelope of the space. So, in a nutshell, that's it.
Will there be two entrances, Main Street and
Yes, there will be,
like there was at the back?
the rear entrance is gonna be a service entrance. So what they'll do is they'll take the garbage out of the rear of the restaurant. There'll be a common loading access corridor. Then they will exit through a rear loading corridor, and then they'll proceed, basically as all the other restaurants do, with the garbage all the way to the garbage dumpster receptacles at the rear of the property.
That's actually one of the things I want to talk about. That garbage dumpster at the rear of the, I mean, that's a disaster. Is there enough space there to add another restaurant's amount of garbage?
Historically, we have a situation where we've got, what, two restaurants? No, 3 restaurants there right now. We'll be adding a 4th.
Right.
And if there is, capacity within the existing fenced-in area, then they're gonna have to. I'm not familiar with where exactly these dumpsters, how many of them there are, and they are in an enclosure, it's my understanding.
Not really.
No.
They're not.
There's no enclosure.
They're overflowing all
And it's a
the time.
constant, I don't know. Can I just, do you mind if I just ask? So, my biggest concern with this is the parking. We're short on parking, and garbage and parking are my 2 major issues on this. When this place was initially built, there was the Italian restaurant, there was the breakfast place that's still there, there was a pharmacy, there was an office, there was a bank, and there was a jewelry store, and there was a big lobby, right? Central Center, a really big lobby, which has now been turned into a 25-person restaurant, right? The bank has been, or the old pharmacy has been divided up, and one of them is now a restaurant, and one of them is a nail salon. I feel like the intensity of this building is just continuing to grow and grow and grow. Any thoughts on that?
Yes, it's an approved use, first of all.
Yeah.
And so far, unless I'm mistaken, there's been no historic precedent on refusing a restaurant, coming in based on the saturation point of either the parking or dumpsters. I mean, if there's a dumpster ordinance violation, the owner of the building will address it. We'll have to take that up directly with them. If it needs to be enclosed, we'll definitely do what we need to do to communicate that to them. But as far as adding another restaurant, this isn't the last. Even if this one does get denied, there are more in the pipeline, I'm sure.
Right. But people have voted no over parking for restaurants, huh?
They have, but it's not a precedent. So I don't see why my client should be singled out for not having the ability to put a restaurant, and if it's an approved use. And again, with the parking, the parking's always been an issue. Now it's monetized. So all we're asking is to go through the motions, just like every other applicant would, to try to, go through the parking, applicant. It looks like we don't have to actually do an amendment to the resolution. So I don't know what the next step is as far as getting the parking approved. Obviously, it's the planning board. So planning purpose of this is to familiarize the mayor and council to the actual project itself.
Well, the mayor and council is going to decide whether or not this plan is going to be in conformance with the downtown. And that includes a review of whether or not it is too intense for the site. I know this council has rejected projects that have an approved use, but they're too intense for the site and the area. So that's what this council is going to decide. The parking, you guys can decide whether or not the intensity is too much there, whether or not the parking variance is going to be granted because of the number. It's going to be the planning board that has that responsibility.
Just a couple questions. So for the restaurant, there's a dry storage, which is the old vault, but there's no need for a walk-in cold storage. Everything's going to be refrigerator.
Yes, he has a series of reach-in refrigerators. It's going to be a very quick turnover in the particular cuisine that he's using, so he does not need a walk-in box.
Okay. The application that came before the zoning officer said 40 seats and 6 employees. Plan shows 45 seats.
Yeah, well,
It's 18 two-tops and 9 bar stools.
yeah, as my plan shows, we have 45 seats, and then we have 5, I think it's 5 employees. And I'm sorry, how many employees? Let's see.
There's 6 out here.
Okay, 5, yeah. Okay, 6 employees and 45 seats. Yeah, it's been like that on the plan
Where do you,
since the beginning.
where do you see 6 employees?
That was on the application.
Right, it's the application.
But not on that plan.
It says 5 employees in the
The
plan.
report indicated that the application and the plan had a divergence between the 5 and 6. So
Right, the plan is to have 5 employees.
No, okay, hold on a second. Because 45 seat, okay, so is there a difference between 40 and 45 seats in regards to the parking requirement?
Yes, it's one parking space, I believe, for every 4 seats. So, 45 seats and 5 employees would generate a parking demand for 14 spaces.
And they have how many? And they have 5?
The current office would have a requirement for
Okay.
5 spaces, so it nets out to 9.
Okay. I saw it on the application, and I was wondering whether the calculation was off of the 4 plus 5 or the 45 plus 5.
Right, yeah, the discrepancy was on the application.
All right, so this is actually, it's 45 seats.
50 total, yeah, 50 people, occupants, 45 patrons and 5 employees.
You said 1 spot per 4
Seats.
It's one
seats,
Yes.
Yes.
and the application, and
And then
employees,
1 space for every 2 employees.
so that's more than 14.
Well, then we had 5 that were
No, but I'm
existing.
not talking about pre-existing.
It's,
I'm talking about if you have 45 seats.
It's 1 space per employee,
no, it's
and per 2 employees.
for 2 employees, so 45 space, so 45 patrons.
Mhm.
45 seats would generate a need for 11.25 spaces,
Which is
And then-
rounded up,
to 12.
okay?
And then, well, you would round down since it's a quarter.
Okay, so 11,
And then you have 5 employees, which would generate 2.5, so round that up to 3,
and that's the 4.
and that's
Okay.
14.
So that's the 15 total,
And the 14 total.
14 total, right?
And
okay.
then the existing
So
office
9.
space, I
9,
believe,
okay.
on every 400 square feet,
Yeah.
so that would, 5.
Okay, thank you. The math wasn't trying, so, okay. So, I'd like to echo what Councilman Friedman said. The trash dumpster is not your applicant's responsibility. It's the building owner's responsibility. That has to be something that has to be resolved with the building owner. Regarding parking, it's tough to say because now that we have the new parking program in place, parking has shifted. But at the same time, just as the same as people who want to eat on the market yard side of the town can park on the Lafayette Street side in order to avoid parking, if there's no, or parking costs, if there's no parking available there and they want to attend one of these restaurants, they're going to have to find a spot, whether it be a metered spot or not. I think that, one of the things that we've touted is that we don't have a lack of parking in the borough, we have a lack of parking organization, and what we've done with the parking authority is kind of pushed that organization a little better. I would have to offer that the biggest issue that your client will have is during lunchtime, during the weeks, during the weekdays, because that lot is county parking, or some of that lot is county parking.
Yeah.
So that reduces the amount of parking that's there.
I believe all the lot is county parking.
It is,
Yeah, and actually, the row of parking immediately adjacent to the building itself is the proper, not the property, but the parking is
It's
for
not
the
county.
building itself.
It's
It's
not
not county, correct.
Where did you get that information from? That is
It
county
was-
property.
It was deeded, I think it was deeded to the owner, it's been like that since time immemorial.
Nice.
That's why he's got the signs up, with each particular business, saying, this is for this particular business parking, et cetera. So
That's, this
15-minute
says
parking.
30-minute parking, it
Right.
doesn't assign it to any particular businesses.
well, my understanding is that that was available for that.
Only 5 spots are assigned to a business, and that's the Ocean First Bank spots that this spot building will be taken, and those are up against the Lafayette Street.
And another thing is, a lot of these, in fact, I would say most of these most of the spaces, with the exception of the restaurants, we have non-simultaneous uses. So at nighttime, when the restaurant would be at its busiest, these patrons here would not, the parking would be, not utilized if it were,
The nail
if it were
salon's
otherwise utilized for.
The nail place is open till like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's not going to be a direct competitor for the restaurant. I don't see that as being
I did request parking agreements or anything that would, say that parking was able to be used by this building with the county, and nothing was produced.
Yeah, I mean,
I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, I remember I had asked you for parking agreements, we spoke on the phone, and I asked you if there's any parking agreements, and you said no, there was not, that you were aware of. But he's suggesting that there's a deed, he's suggesting there's a deed that the space
That's
is
what
deeded.
Carl Steinberg has told the owner of the property. I haven't been able to find it.
Okay, so as of right now, there is no deed.
Not that we're aware
It's
of.
on the record that we
By
know.
the way, isn't the parking the restaurant's problem? If I can't get to them without walking the
No,
block.
because it becomes the problem of the other businesses as well. You can't do it to the detriment of other businesses.
Somebody doesn't want to
Sir,
walk
so
a
when-
block.
What?
Somebody doesn't want to walk a block, that's the
Well,
problem.
we agree on that, but, that's not the way the law is.
No, I understand that. But
Well,
I think your paid parking should
Yeah,
solve your
but
problem.
we can't work on assumptions, we can't work on,
No,
we're
I'm
held
not-
to a
I'm not
higher
making an assumption.
standard.
I'm making an assumption. If you want to get close, you pay the park.
Well,
It's not taking parking away from somebody
but
else.
you're paying,
If I pay the park, I should be able to go where I want to go.
yes.
So what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that we have rules,
No, I understand
and the
that.
rule
But I don't think
is
your rules
that
take
your
in-
non-parking spot's
But I
short.
don't think your rules take into consideration
Well,
your
I don't think it
ordinance.
matters at this point what you think about it.
No, I think your
Mr.
ordinance should
Halloran.
be
I think
amended
it's
because
the
you have
rule.
paid parking.
Pardon me?
I think your present ordinance doesn't take into consideration that if I want to park close, I pay.
Well, yes, it does,
I
but,
don't think so.
well, I do.
Okay, we disagree. We've disagreed before, Mr. Shannon.
Yeah, we have.
We're still friends.
Yeah, as Margaret says, that area right there is not paid parking anyway, that's the county.
Okay, so
it's not,
you
that,
walk across the street. I mean,
we understand that, Mr.
As
Halloran,
long as
you
you guys-
understand
that's
that,
my only point.
but we can't assume, we have to be fair about this.
What's not fair about letting me park?
No,
park where I
okay,
want?
all right, well, we're getting no place,
Okay.
so,
Just to circle back, the dumpster issue is not the applicant, it's the landlord's issue. That's something that we would have to address with the landlord. If it has to be a bigger dumpster and the enclosure can support a bigger dumpster, then that's what would be required if the landlord wants to have this space occupied. From personal experience, and from just driving around, you can see that all of the banks, not all the banks, but a majority of the banks in town are not going to be banks anymore. Cat Chase on corner of South and Park Avenue is now going to become a Starbucks. The old Bank of America is now an office space. The bank behind Cafe 360 is vacant, it's being considered for something else. Physical bank structures after COVID are not surviving. They're just not. It's not. People don't do in-person banking anymore. As much as some of us would like to every once in a while, the majority of it is done online through ATMs or a very small branch. It happens. It's the way that businesses go. I would rather see a business try in this space, regardless of if they're having a parking deficiency or not, and having this large end cap of a space vacant with blank windows in the downtown area. So I would be for the application and for progressing this to the Planning and Zoning Board for the variance for the parking.
Okay, anybody else?
No, I agree with that.
well, you know how I feel, Mr. Clark, you said you've been here many times, and you know how I feel about the parking. And how because we're taking a vote to, move this to the planning board, I would vote for it, but I want you to know that it's against my better judgment, so that really makes me a hypocrite.
I understand that. To make you feel better though, I think restaurants arguably are the core of the downtown.
I think so too. But my point is that we can't, and sir, I'm sorry, But my point is that we can't keep adding restaurants, new restaurants, to the detriment of the old restaurants. So that we have 9 parking spots that he's deficient, which now are going to be taken away from the other existing restaurants. So where my heart absolutely welcomes new business, new entrepreneurs, it's wonderful. I want to welcome them to Freehold. But I can't, in good conscience, do that to the detriment of the ones who have, the older ones, the ones who are already here, the existing restaurants. And that's the basis. I couldn't agree more with Mr. Halloran about walking. I don't ever mind walking from, unless it's a storm or something, from the Lafayette lot to any place I'm going in Freehold. I don't have a problem with that. However, that's 2 of us. And that doesn't mean that everybody who uses that is gonna do that. They're gonna go back and take a spot, whether they're paying for it or not. They're gonna take a spot that is going to be to the detriment of existing business. So there's my feeling.
So if we were to offer a compromise and lower the amount of seats to make it a little bit more palatable, I mean,
This
it
is
would help
just
the
my
problem.
feeling. You'd have to ask mayor and council.
Okay. Well, without speaking for the client, I mean, I think that might be a valid compromise.
It's just to kick it to the planning board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just,
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to show that there's possibilities that are on the table.
Light up, yeah.
But I personally appreciate that as a reconciliation, as a compromise. But at the same time, if your client has figured out the numbers that having 45 seats is where he's going to need to be at least in order to make the business successful, sacrificing seating for parking that brings it down to 8 spots or 7 spots, whatever it may be the difference between make or break that this business survives. And similarly as before, giving a business owner a trying chance to be able to make a name for himself in this application, this specific application here in this area, in this spot where, historically speaking, in downtown Freehold, if you don't have a direct parking, you're at a loss to begin with. So I think that we, as the council, when it comes to redevelopment, I think we need to give an opportunity to businesses that want to come into town to at least try. You know,
take away from the others.
I don't necessarily think that it's a takeaway anymore.
Okay.
I think that the parking management program that we put in has shown us that it wasn't necessarily that the lots were over full because of everybody who. It's showing us now that there are spaces available because there's turnover now. And what we weren't getting before is turnover, and we are not getting employees who are now parking within a stone's throw of their business appointment. So I think that's opened up opportunities, and I still think that specifically in a downtown area where we want to have a thriving business area, vacant stores are not thriving. And so having a business owner come in to try to make a name for themselves, I think is something that we need to support.
Are you a franchise? Is this a franchise?
Can I have Mr. Sunil come up? I think he's going to be able to address the nature of the overturn of the clients.
Hi guys, my name is Sunil Latroni. I currently own 2 locations and I have a 3rd one in process right now. I actually bought a building in Jamesburg, New Jersey, which is going to be more like my production house. So it cuts down a lot of labor costs, and plus we can have a better control on our quality. So yeah, with this one it'll be 4 locations, if all goes well.
But it's not a franchise. It's not franchise
No, it's
owned.
not.
It's all
It's all me.
All by yeah.
Explain a little bit about the turnover of the clientele and if.
So it's more like a Chipotle concept, but we make our food fresh every day, and
You
it's
say Chipotle, doesn't it?
And yeah, so it's pretty fast. We have everything ready, so even the customer walks in, usually they're in and out between 5 to 6 minutes. People who dine in, the food is already ready, you don't have to wait, so even the parking spaces, they are not waiting for an hour and a half. Usually my customer turnaround is less than 20 minutes.
And the other businesses that you have?
I have one location in Monroe Township, I have one in Howard Township, and I'm opening one in Jamesburg.
And they have direct parking capabilities, or are they part of like a strip mall, like a
We are part of strip mall.
Strip mall, so it's a shared parking services.
Correct, but the one in Jamesburg actually is, I bought the building, and Jamesburg had the almost similar situation, but I was able to, I'm opening a huge Indian restaurant there as well, it's a big building, but I was able to get approvals there as well.
I have another question. The vents, are there gonna, you said there's gonna be no exterior changes, are there gonna, how are you cooking the food?
Everything is vented through the roof. So it will be just as the restaurant next to it, with it used to be the Cheesecake Place. I'm not sure what the restaurant is there now, but they vent directly up through the roof, which is all enclosed by the answer roof. Correct.
Mr. Chairman, point of order, the premises was not used as a restaurant in the past?
No.
Right, so there's certain ramifications that have to be considered with regard to sewage disposal, there needs to grease trap, all that necessary equipment, and as well as the ventilation, and there may be an impact upon, the water and sewer systems, especially since it's a common sewer. So, and that would have to be discussed and considered when the application is made.
Yes, I know the sewer system was enlarged with the latest restaurant that was actually approved for it. So they did increase the capacity. Now, we could easily do a flow study to demonstrate the feasibility of adding, new capacity to it.
Can we ask the planner something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, any more comments here?
Well, I have no comments, I had really a question for the planner about strip malls in general.
I was gonna ask if our professional, either engineer or planner, had anything to add.
They're requesting a site plan waiver, so there's actually no engineering review on the actual site, there's no site plan, so I don't have any comment.
I guess our follow-up comments, were actually, if you were proposing any facade treatments or any changes, you're just keeping it.
Yes, as is. With the exception of the sign, which will be, we're able to go through the process.
Okay. Because there weren't any details regarding signage.
So with the strip mall, is there like a balance of uses that generally an owner is looking for?
That's more of like a private enterprise type of question. Sometimes there are like, for example, if you have a supermarket, there's a restriction against putting another supermarket in. But that does not appear to be the case here with respect to restaurants.
Got it.
Counselor?
Well, the question, if everybody has asked all they want to, is really whether or not the council believes as a redevelopment entity this passes muster. Now, just to preface this, the council's not deciding about whether or not there are going to be enough parking spaces or anything like that. It's just enough to pass them to essentially the next level. The planning board will be reviewing the entire application, and it'd be their job to take the testimony. So it might be that this council says, we're okay to pass it to the next level, and if the planning board agrees that this is too intense, they won't grab that variance. But essentially, the council says whether or not the use, this change of use, which is allowable underneath our downtown plan, and as well as the intensity of the use really fits within what we're looking for in the downtown area. Again, it doesn't approve that they get the 9 extra spaces. It doesn't, they might change the number of seats, lower, higher, before they get to the planning board. If they go higher, well, they'll be back here for a change in the ordinance, so that might not be. But they might lower it for the planning board. All of those considerations are really the next step that they're still going to have to go through. So the question to the council, whether or not you feel that this is appropriate for the downtown.
So take a vote on this, straw poll on whether or not we should send it to planning board.
Well, I think we need an official
Okay, so I'll make
resolution.
a motion to send it to.
I'll make a motion to approve. Is it approve?
It's a motion that the application is in conformance with the downtown plan.
I'll make a motion that the application is in conformance with the downtown plan.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Freeman?
a burrito. God bless you. Every part of me between the garbage and the parking says no, but I'm gonna let the planning board deal with it, so. Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Reich,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schuster.
Yes, to move it to the planning board.
Okay.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Good
Good
luck.
luck, Joel.
Thank you.
You done? You're done. Oh, I won't go. Vince, I'll get you your chicken. No, it's a.
I know, my mom told me this.
Okay, item 15 are public comments. If anyone from the public would care to make a comment to the governing body, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Anybody from the public?
Seeing no comment from the public, I move the public portion be closed.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Friedman,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Reich,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schuster.
Yes.
Okay, public comment portion is closed. Item 6 are council reports and comments. Start off with Council President Schuster.
We want to welcome Fast Fix Cell to downtown Freehold. We cut the ribbon there on Sunday. Huh? Oh, I just, Saturday. So we welcome them. The signs that you see outside, and I'm just saying this as a general announcement because everybody's been asking, are the white signs with the encouraging messages on them are from the Alliance to Prevent Substance Abuse because this is National Suicide Prevention Month, week,
Mental health.
and mental health. So that's what those are for. The golf outing for the Alliance is May 20th. We'll still take donations for baskets and we'll still take golfers. The next meeting is going to be, maybe we're going to announce this. Our next meeting is moved from Monday the 20th to the Tuesday the 21st, correct? Of May. So it won't be Monday, it'll be Tuesday night the 21st of May. McGackin tickets for the program, we still have McGackin tickets left. If you see me, I'll get you those tickets. And also the Memorial Day Parade on Saturday night, there's going to be a lovely concert for the Memorial Day kickoff at the Presbyterian Church. Tickets are $20 and it's, I always say this wrong, Father Alphonse St. Peter by the Sea Orchestra is playing, and it's supposed to be a lovely program of patriotic songs. And also on Sunday at 1 o'clock at Maplewood Cemetery, there will be a memorial service for some of the veterans who have passed away, and the history lesson. And then, of course, the kickoff of the parade on Monday. Tickets for Father Alphonse concert and for shirts, if you want to buy them, can be purchased from the Memorial Day Parade Committee. I don't have the list in front of me. I know they're there till 8 o'clock tonight.
I can help.
And he can help you get the tickets. And thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Jordan.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to the Mayor's Wellness Committee for last Saturday. We had our bike rodeo on Park Avenue School. It was nicely attended. The PVA did a phenomenal job working with the kids. We have gentlemen from town there putting lights on bikes and things like that. Big shout out though to Recreation Commissioners came up and helped out, and to Lynn Cannon and her husband Bill, who helped me lug all that stuff over there and lugged it all back again, so it's greatly appreciated. And this is just the start of our ongoing education when it comes to bike safety. So more to come on that. Mayor's Wellness, Recreation, and from My Healthy Heart to Yours is having the Wellness in the Park this Saturday at Vineyard Park. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to have some health vendors in there, some wellness expos. We're going to have Stop and Shop giving away free veggies and fruit, and we're also gonna have food and music. So when you're out at, dare I say it, the garage sale, stop by and just kind of take a look and see what's going on. Also on Saturday, there is the town yard garage sale. You have some maps outside you can pick up if anybody wants to participate. I think there's only 70 homes on the list, and in here it has a listing of everything that they're going to be selling at each individual site. So pick up a map on your way out, and that's sponsored by Recreation as well. Just one more thing, that the Participatory Budgeting Committee, I don't know if you've seen their ongoing campaign, but we're getting a lot of buzz on that. So if you haven't had an opportunity, take a look on Facebook. They're doing a really great job promoting the program, and we're now accepting project ideas for this year's campaign. So if you have anything you want to submit, now's the time to do it. You can go online and you can just download forms. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rogers.
Thank you. I just want to remind that this is really the last opportunity to get tickets for Saturday's event hosted by Court Street School. It's a Roaring 20s party and a Roaring 20s gala, and it's a fundraiser for the school that the school board is sponsoring. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you are interested in tickets, you can reach out to the Court Street School, or you can reach out to me, and I can provide the tickets for you. The cost is $50, and the event will be held at the Firehouse on Solon Road in Creole Township. The second thing I wanted to mention is on April 25th, we had an Arbor Day program at the Park Avenue School. It was coordinated by Christine Gregory and also attended by Cheryl, Brooke, and Roman, and myself. And it was really a wonderful opportunity to interact with our children, for them to show a little pride. But I asked Steve to cue up this video. It's a very short video, but I thought it was really, an example of the work the kids put into the program, their posters, and just how proud they are to be part of this.
Once there was a tree,
and she loved a little boy.
and every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest.
And he would climb up her trunk
And swing from her branches and eat apples.
Would play hide and go seek, and when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade.
And the boy loved the tree
very much, and the tree was happy.
I think trees look cool because they provide paper, and without paper you couldn't really have money. I think trees are important because they're home to many animals and bugs.
Trees are important because they make us furniture, pencils, and paper.
Hi, I'm Kirby, and trees are important to me because they provide oxygen, and I wouldn't be here without them. Hi, I'm Desire, and I think trees are important because they provide us shade on hot days. I think trees are important because they provide an air, and if there weren't trees, it would mess up the climate.
Thank you. I'm so proud of our kids and that they put this video together. And I just want to say thank you to Christine because you coordinate this every year. The tree that the children spoke, that they stood in front of was one we had donated in the past. Unfortunately, we couldn't donate one this year, but when they finished building, we're hoping to do it at that time. But it really is a great program. The children really enjoy participating. The posters, which will be hung up around here. So if you have time to come and see them, you should take a moment. It's just really, these kids are super talented and super smart with the quotes that they put on the posters. So it's a wonderful program, and you know, I'm glad we continue to do it. Thank you, Christine.
I just want to thank publicly all the merchants who donated the prizes. I've already done that, and we did it at the program. But if it weren't for them and the children, like you say Federicis or you say Mateos, they're in like seventh heaven.
Yeah.
It was great. Thank you for saying so. Thank you for doing that. That was the best part of the whole meeting.
I just thought it was just a great video. And the last thing is that the library construction is continuing. We do not at this time have a date for the opening, but we are getting closer. Every day we're getting a little bit closer, but you know, our library here in the Borough Hall will continue to be there until we reopen. In addition, don't forget that if you have a library card, you can access ebooks and movies and magazines and things like that, which I take advantage of. I like to look at my gardening magazines through the Libby portal, so there is you can still borrow stuff. It is not, you know, they're still there. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sharon, I think things I said enough today, so she stole my thunder regarding Memorial Day Parade. It's okay. But in regards to the tickets and the t-shirt sales for the Memorial Day Parade Committee, as well as the Orchestra of St. Peter's by the Sea, at the American Legion at 62 West Main Street on Saturday, May 11th from 2 to 1 p.m. and Sunday, May 19th from 2 to 5 p.m. Committee members will be there selling t-shirts and tickets if you are looking to attend. The Human Relations Advisory Commission is having a spring sale on the We Believe in Freehold Borough Garden flags. The price is now $15 and includes the stand. You can see a committee member or reach out to email hrc@freeholdborough.org and we'll coordinate with you to get one purchased and delivered to you. The committee is holding off on our educational walking tour this year until after the library is completed and settled back in. We really want to showcase the library at the end of the tour, with the start of the tour being the Court Street School. So plans for that are on hold right now. Instead, we're switching gears to a program that we're trying to start called Befriend a Neighbor. We're looking to do a card and letter writing campaign for residents to drop off cards and letters at various locations in the borough, which will then be collected and distributed to the senior community centers, just as a way of, just a friendly and neighborly connection between people in our community. Lastly, on a personal note, I have family members who are involved with the Live Like a Unicorn Junior Foundation, Junior Board. They are having a Bagel Nook fundraiser on Sunday, May 26th. If you purchase a unicorn bagel from any of the 3 Bagel Nook locations, the one at the Village Center in Freehold, on Harrison Street in Princeton, or over by Staples on Pond Road, a portion of the proceeds from the bagel sales will go towards the Live Like a Unicorn Foundation, which is an organization that helps support pediatric cancer research. Thank you very much, and see you all soon. And Happy Mother's Day, yeah.
Thank you. Councilmember Freeman.
Yes, thank you. I'll be brief since we did a lot of code stuff in the workshop. Harmony in the Park, classical music on the 15th and 29th at Veterans Park. Porch Fest, we've got 29 porches and 58 bands signed up. So it should be a great day, May 19th, Sunday. There'll be a shuttle going around town, so you'll be able to hop on the shuttle and go to the various spots. And then on June 6th, we kick off our Thursday Rock Summer Concert Series. So hope to see you guys out and about.
Thank you. Just like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. There being no further business on it, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Rice?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, we are adjourned. Good night.